Madam Speaker, today I rise to mark a major milestone for an important installation in the state of South Dakota. This year is the 70th anniversary of Ellsworth Air Force Base. It's a privilege to stand here and honor the thousands of airmen who have been stationed at Ellsworth today on the House floor. I would like to personally thank every single man and woman who has served our nation and the people of South Dakota at this base. Ellsworth has played an important role in this country and in our nation's military since World War II. The attack at Pearl Harbor sent our country into one of the most destructive wars that the world has ever known. Our country needed a large and immediate force to fight a two-front war, one in the Pacific theater and another one in Europe. Thousands of young men and women rushed into the military, and in response, our nation built many new bases to accommodate the growing number of soldiers. In 1942, a small Army base was established near Rapid City, outside of Box Elder, South Dakota. Its original purpose was to train the crews of the Boeing B-17 Flying Fortress. Later in the year, the base trained and deployed B-29 Super Fortress crews, which were instrumental on the Eastern Front. During World War II, the base was so successful that it was changed to permanent status, yet sadly, a tragedy struck. While returning from a training mission, an RB-36 Peacemaker aircraft crashed in Newfoundland. Later that year, President Eisenhower came to South Dakota and dedicated the base, renaming it after Brigadier General Richard Ellsworth, who perished in the crash. Ever since then, the base has been kept the name Ellsworth Air Force Base. Ellsworth continued to prove itself as an enduring asset during the Cold War. In fact, during the first major international event of the Cold War, B-29 bombers from Ellsworth were sent to help the Berlin airlift. And as the Cold War progressed, so did the capabilities of Ellsworth. Aircraft at Ellsworth were used as an intimidating deterrent to our potential enemies. The base also became a hub of missile activity, transporting and storing the Titan and Minutemen missiles. Without a doubt, Ellsworth was a crucial player in keeping peace during a very uneasy time in our nation's history. Today, Ellsworth is the home of the 28th Bomb Wing with the B-1 Lancer, which is a shining example of resourcefulness. The aircraft was originally designed for low-altitude nuclear payloads, but as the Cold War ended and the demand for nuclear capability aircraft declined, the Air Force modified the aircraft for long-range conventional bombing runs. It has been described as the workhorse of operations in Afghanistan, and most recently, B-1s from Ellsworth Air Force Base were used in Operation Odyssey Dawn in Libya. The B-1 has truly become the backbone of our long-range bombing force. In fact, earlier this year, the B-1 completed its 10,000th combat mission. It's an impressive milestone for any piece of weaponry. More recently, the Air Force selected Ellsworth to be the home of the unmanned MQ-9 Reapers. It is one of only two bases on the ground that have control capabilities of these high-tech aircrafts. It is a testament to the ongoing relevance of Ellsworth as a part of our national defense strategy. Ellsworth has also become an integral part of South Dakota's economy. In 2010, the base estimated that it supports over 1,500 jobs in western South Dakota. That's not including the thousands of active airmen and women. It's also home to the Air Force Financial Services Center. It's without a doubt an economic engine that keeps South Dakota thriving and vibrant. When I reflect on what makes Ellsworth Air Force Base so significant, I think beyond the impressive aircraft and the historical and economic significance that the base has to South Dakota. Instead, I think about the individual airmen. I believe that the true strength of our armed forces lies with them, and it doesn't come from the equipment that they use or the aircraft that they fly. It's their courage, their resilience, and the bravery of these fine men and women. As great as the B-17s, the B-29s, the B-1, and the MQ-9 Reaper are, nothing can compare to the everyday American service member. That's why I want to make sure as we commemorate the 70th anniversary of Ellsworth Air Force Base, we don't focus only on the national importance the base has played or the economic impact it has had in South Dakota. Instead, we focus on the individual airmen and the sacrifices that they go through every single day. It's the airman who leaves his family, who protects our country day in and day out, and responds to the call of duty. Each airman plays one small part in a larger operation. Whether they are pilots, navigators, engineers, munitions personnel, or air traffic controllers, each one plays an important role. I thank all the airmen and women who come to Ellsworth and did their duty to the best of their ability. They've done so for 70 years and have done an incredible job. I'd also like to commend the families of the airmen past and present. I've heard from many of the military personnel and their families, and I'm always inspired by their selfless commitment to our country. Every family member of our servicemen and women makes sacrifices. God bless them for staying strong and for providing a strong support system for our service members who are stationed at Ellsworth and bases across the country.
Chair recognizes